So just join when ready. Maybe your eyes close. And taking deep breaths, just beginning some slow breathing. Just observe the breath. See if you can notice every moment. So it feels different when you first are gathering in the breath. Halfway through, the lungs are filling, the breath is still coming in. And then you've reached the point with completely full lungs. And then exhaling. So as you exhale, that all feels different than the previous moment. And just keep breathing out until you're completely empty of breath and observe how that feels. And then you can be in your new breath. So we have an option today for a retaining of the breath. It's called Kumbhaka, and you do not have to do it, but we're just going to practice breathing in, holding the inhale for a few seconds, slowly breathing out, holding the air out for a few seconds. So if that doesn't suit you today, just breathe in your deep breaths like you were already doing. So inhale and exhale just to prepare. Good. And then we're going to slowly inhale, fill the lungs all the way. Take another sip at the top. And then maybe you hold for 3, 2, 1. And then if you can control the exhale, really slow out. It's okay if it's a little shaky. And then let's just breathe normally. So that was the first practice, holding the breath in. We'll do that 2 more times. So just preparing. Good. And then inhale, breathing slowly in as much as you can, and then holding. Maybe holding in for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Take another normal breath. Oh, hello. If you're just joining, that's awesome. It's great to see you. We're just sitting or lying down, practicing some breath. We're going to do one more time, retaining the inhale breath. So when you're ready, deep breath in, holding for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. And now take your breath, see how this feels in your body. Working with our breath, we work with our life force, our energy, chi, prana, many names for this life force. It's what animates a human body. It's what gives us the breath of life. So we're going to practice now that breath retention with the breath out at the bottom of the exhale. So let's take a deep breath in, a slow breath out, and then you hold it out for 3, 2, 1, and then inhale your normal breath. Exhale. We'll try that twice more. So inhaling when you're ready. Exhaling when you're ready. Push all the air out and then holding for 3, 2, 1. And then just breathe normally. And then one more time. Inhale, inhale. And then exhale, exhale. Holding it out for 3, 2, 1. Breathing in. Just see how you feel now after doing both inhale and exhale. Just a little bit more. We're going to practice now holding in the inhale, holding out the exhale. And please just breathe normally if you need to. Oh, good. Stacy's here. Hi. All right. So when you're ready, take a breath in and out to prepare. And then when you're ready, inhale, inhale, holding the breath in. Good. Exhale, exhale. Holding it out. Keep going when you're ready. Inhale, inhale. Holding. Exhale. Exhale. Holding out. 3, 2, 1. One more inhale. 3, 2, 1. And then exhale. All the air out. For 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Breathing in normally. Exhaling. If your eyes aren't closed already, close them for just a moment and check in. See if you feel different after practicing this breath work. I find it to be, it can be very exhilarating, especially done during the day. If you do it at night, it might be more calming. And there's different ones, breath works that energize, they're called pranayama. They energize and some that calm. They're all very detoxifying and so good for the lungs, for the immune system. Beautiful. So we're going to start with a few yin postures today, and then we'll go into our flow and then end lying on our backs. So let's go into Sphinx pose. Coming onto the belly and then propping the arm, chest. So bringing your shoulders under, or your shoulders over your elbows. The elbows might even be a little forward. And then just see how this feels. We want to feel that compression in the low back here. Notice where your feet kind of flop. They can be stretched out. They can be at any distance from each other that feels right. I'm just going to set the timer for the pose. Beautiful. So in this pose, getting both into the spine and the chest lungs, got a pretty open chest, heart. Breathe in, feel that uplifting movement of breath of energy. Exhale, feel the belly press into the earth, grounding yourself. More like that. So inhale, nice open chest. Belly pushes into the ground. Exhale, we soften into the earth, all the body parts that are connected. So just notice that low back. We've been here about 1 minute. If you feel like you need some more stimulation here, you can kind of slide the hands apart and lift the elbows. And then if you're in regular Sphinx and want to take it out of the shoulders, a bolster under the chest or arms can be nice, or a rolled blanket. So you can take it. You could do it kind of under the arms this way, or maybe you come forward. You can even put the head down. Good. Feeling, and what do you feel, and where do you feel this in your body? Breathing into the kidneys. Exhale, it's a grounding. So the yin practice is very, what we call grounding. And it's a feeling of being solid in our bodies, being in touch with our bodies, being connected to the Mother Earth and the ground. Lying on the floor or doing floor postures can really help. Of course, the yin practice is super grounding too. All the poses are on the ground. And then we'll explore later what it feels like when we're more in the air, more yang. We're more than halfway through this pose. Now in yin, you do want to be at some kind of edge. So I had to kind of come up a little bit for this part of the pose. But it's not an edge like if you went further, you would really hurt yourself. So not so extreme that you're like holding yourself in the pose using effort to stay. So I want to be as yin as possible here. So even though it looks like I'm using some effort, and I am to hold my arms in place, I'm totally relaxing, and my shoulders are coming down. My spine is relaxed, which is the area we're targeting. So that's what matters more, the area we're targeting. This is the pose for us right now, for all the sitting that we're doing. Even if you're really active, it's still less activity than we normally would have just going about our daily lives. So take a few more breaths here. And then we do come out really slow from these poses. So as slowly as you can, unroll the spine to the earth. I like to take an exhale to come all the way down, or maybe several breaths, and just descend on those exhales. Maybe you turn one cheek to the side, arms can be bent or alongside your body. So just feel, it might feel kind of weird in your low back right now. It's okay. We just let that pass as the tissues reorganize, the blood and energy flow back through the low back after the compression there. And then now if you want to bend the knees, you can windshield wiper your feet back and forth. And feel the low back, how that kind of stretches it a little bit, loosens it up. Nice. When you're ready, hands coming under shoulders, lifting up and coming back into child's pose for our next posture. If you feel like you need cat and cows on the way there, you can do those, inhaling with the chest drop, belly, exhale round. I personally like to go straight to child's, but it's up to you. And then we'll be here for the next posture. So take a lot of time to get into it. I know a lot of people like a bolster. You can put it kind of between the knees and lay on it. That's a great one. Rolling up a blanket's a good one. Widening your knees if you want to feel this more in those hip flexors. So this is a big compression in those hip flexors. It's okay if you aren't able to hold this pose the whole time. Be kind and patient with yourself. You can widen the feet if you want to feel a little more. Just prop yourself however you need to. If you're here, your hips won't go down. You can always take a pillow or blanket. Just kind of cushion your seat a little bit more. So many options here. You might already be in it. So connecting with the breath in every pose. And I also find it's cool to kind of check out how the breath differs from pose to pose. So in the last posture, we had a nice open chest. Our chest was kind of like in the air, near to the heavens. Now, chest is a bit more closed off. Third eye might be down or the head might be turned a little bit. How does the breath feel in this pose? You might find that you can breathe into the back of the body easier. So here, even though we touch on a lot of different meridians and channels and body parts in this pose, I'd love it if you would really breathe into the backs of the lungs. So feeling the back ribs expand as you breathe in. When you exhale, the lungs getting smaller in the back body. So sending that fresh breath, fresh energy into the lungs. You might even breathe so much in that you can feel breathing into the kidneys or kind of visualize the breath in that area. One more minute here. That's an option. If you've come out of the pose, good for you. That's the wisdom that you're learning in your body. We always make choices, especially in our yoga practice. Do more, do less. I think doing less is the choice that's considered less often, but I really urge you to check in with how you feel today in these poses. They can give you a really good idea of how the mind is, how the emotions are, how the physical energy is. How's your energy level? Are you fatigued today? Are you feeling that spring upward sensation of energy? No right or wrong answer. So take about 5 more breaths here. Then you'll slowly come out of this pose in your own way. So eventually I'd like to lay on the front body, but take your time. So you might need to walk the hands back and bring the knees together, or you might move your prop. You might just slide all the way on the front. And we'll all just meet there. It's okay if you're feeling awkward coming out of the poses. No one can tell. It's always kind of weird when we first come out, especially if we have compression, a little sort of cutting a little circulation and then coming out, it's a big rush. So breathing again into the back of the lungs here. Kidneys. A few more breaths here. So we're going to start opening in the front of the body a bit more. So we did the Sphinx, opening the chest, opening in the front and the belly, and doing that back bend. So now, and also in the frog, we had a lot of compression in the hip flexors, which is great for them. And then we're going to apply the tensile stretch to hip flexors. So we're going to come up hands and knees. I'm going to have my blocks. I really like to use them here. It's up to you. You can use books, pillows, and then taking the right leg forward. We're going to be on this knee. So if you need to pad the knee with a blanket, do that. This is a little shorter of a pose because it does take a bit more effort to hold. So I'm going to put my hands on blocks. If you're not coming up as high as me, that's okay. You might even bring both hands to the inside and just hold here. Some people might bring hands to the thigh. So just a place we can stay where we're opening the hips, they're sinking down and forward. Unclench the jaw, unclench the shoulders. And then if you're like, no, this isn't working, there's no way, lie on your back. And we're just simply going to stretch the left leg long and pull the right knee in. And then we're getting some stretch in the front here on this side. Getting more compression on the right, which is okay. So we've got that on the right side in the upright version. I'm just going to come back up here so you can see the clock. So we have about 1 more minute here. We're only doing 2 minutes in this dragon posture. We can do anything for 1 minute. We can just breathe through it. Use your wisdom too in your own body, knowing when to pull back, when to sink deeper. Releasing these hip flexors, the psoas muscles, the compression in the right side, that tensile stretch in the back, like a pulling apart of tissue. And this also helps take pressure off the low spine. These muscles basically connect from the lower back to the front of the hips. So if they get really tight, sometimes our back does too. Let's take 1 more inhale. If you'd like, on the exhale, you can pop the hips up and bring them back, stretching out the right leg. You might have to bring blocks back with you or slide the hands back. You can have your knees straight or bent, folding over. Good. And then I'm going to draw my right leg back. I'm just going to switch sides. So bringing the left leg forward, pad the right knee if you need to, or lie on your back. Pull your left knee into the chest this time. So remember, it's only a 2-minute hold. So some of the time we take getting into the pose. Some of the time we take kind of settling, breathing, and then maybe going a little deeper. You are either in here, lizard, or if your hands are on the inside, maybe you're a little lower. Low lizard, if you practice that, is an option. So the breath guiding you through the pose. See if you can relax muscles on the exhale. Let go of that jaw again. Just notice if you're like straining the forehead, the brows, let go. Think about smoothing out. Beautiful. 1 more minute here. This side seems a little longer to me for some reason. Nice. Breath in and out, hips feeling heavy, like they're sinking toward the floor, even if they're nowhere near. So your hips might be way up, and that's fine. 10 more breaths. Good. 1 more full breath. And then on your next inhale, pressing hands down to lift the hips up and bring them back. Maybe lift the left toes, maybe slide the blocks or hands back. Good. And then when you're ready, you can slide left knee right and just come back child's pose for a moment. If you need to come up for cat and cow or kind of roll the hips around, you can do that. That was a pretty intense pose. And then we will be on our knees for the next one. I'm just going to take the blanket here. I'm going to do the heart melting pose, getting more into the lungs, opening in the front body and the upper spine. So this is another short one, about 3 minutes as an option. So your hips are going to stay over knees, and then you'll walk hands out. Breathing in, exhale. So chin or forehead comes down to the floor, or use your prop, bring the floor closer to you. And just kind of find what you need for the pose. Fall into the posture. Nice. Another great one for all the sitting. Beautiful. So make sure you can breathe freely. If not, then you want to back off of the position. And then breathing into the backs of the lungs. Exhale, grounding, knees, chest, arms. Even if you practice this pose a lot, it still might be tough today. You are not alone. So, of course, this is opening the chest and lungs, and you can feel it. Also stimulating the lung meridian. It's starting in the lungs and then The first point is right below the collarbones, right there. First point, that is, and then it's going to come the inside of the arm, ending in that thumb. So if you want, you can even press the thumbs into the floor, stimulating the last point in that lung meridian. Any sensation you feel in those arms, shoulders, can you breathe into it? Exhale, let go of something. The mind drifts, come back to physical sensation, sensory information, temperature, smell, sound, even the sound of silence. It's deep listening. We only have about 3 more breaths here. And then you can press hands down to start lifting up with the chest. Arms might come back. You can take child's pose, maybe arms draped alongside. Your chest can still be on a bolster if needed. And so we're going to move some props to the side. You can keep blocks near the top of your mat if you're using them today. All right, so we'll revisit the yin practice towards the end. Just take a moment and notice how you feel after these opening poses. So a bit more opening in the spine, the hips, the front body, there's some compression in the back body. So normally, if I was doing the yang or vinyasa practice first, we would do some warm-up moves, but I really love the idea of the yin poses being kind of like our warm-up. We're open now. So we can take a downward facing dog when ready. So you can tuck your toes, starting to lift the hips up, and then start walking it out, taking any movement you might need, bending the knees, alternating or together. Beautiful. If you want, you can come to your plank and just kind of measure the distance between hands and feet. Inhale, press back up. No requirement to do the planks. You can always do your knee plank. I'm just going to pedal it out just a little bit more. So it might be your first down dog today. Just be easy on yourself. We'll be coming back here. You can always take a child's pose instead of down dog or halfway through it. Good, so we're in downward facing. We're gonna look towards the front of the mat, walk slowly there, and then take a forward bend, a dangling pose. So maybe you hold opposite elbows or fold the arms. Maybe the knees are bent a lot. You can also put hands on blocks or books or any prop. So we want the weight rolling forward as though the heels could just lift up, or someone could kind of slide a sheet of paper under the heels. That's just kind of to get the idea to press the toes into the floor. And then let the arms go. We're going to dangle and first and then roll to standing as slow as possible. We've been on the ground a lot, so take it easy. If you need to bring hands to the hips, you can. Coming up. Awesome. Standing at the top of your mat. Come into mountain pose. So big toes touch, heels are a little bit apart. Hands are down by the sides. Chest is lifting, but tailbone's tucking down. And your knees can be a little bit soft. Breathing in, breathing out, the shoulders relax down. Good. One more breath in and out. And do sweeping of the arms up. Exhale through the heart center. Do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale through the center. Inhale, let's clasp hands at the top this time. And then maybe the pointer fingers are up. I know you can't really see that. That's okay. So we're going to inhale, stretch up. Exhale, leaning over to the right side, but we still have a nice open chest. And you're really using a lot of abdominal strength here. Good. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, settle. Inhale, we want to get tall. So straight up. And then exhale, other side. Good. Coming back up, inhale. Exhale, hands come to the heart center. You might close your eyes if balance is okay today, or maybe gazing at your fingertips. And you might set an intention, if you haven't already, or dedication for your practice. And maybe it's just the word presence. So we'll start sun salutations next. So let's inhale, sweep arms up. We'll do a few bending down, like mini ones first. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, we'll sweep back. Exhale all the way down. One more inhale. Exhale all the way down. This time, inhaling halfway up. So it's a flat spine. It's kind of like almost parallel to the floor, but just thinking about a long spine. Mine's a little diagonal here, and I've got blocks. You can put hands on shins, and then some people will practice with the hands on the ground, looking forward. And then we'll plant the hands down, step back to your plank or your knee plank. You're going to exhale all the way or halfway down. Inhaling an up dog or cobra. Exhaling down dog or child's pose. So I just showed the modified version. You can do that. You can do chaturanga, up dog, down dog. You can skip that whole flow. So 2 more. Looking forward, walk, step, or jump to the front. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold, and then inhale, sweep arms to the sky. Exhale, this time just with the heart. Take a breath. Good, and then inhale, sweep up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands plant, step back. Take your time. So I'll show the modification again. Knees come down, exhaling all the way. Elbows are really pulling back. Inhale, baby cobra, little bit coming up. Exhale down, and then you take a child's pose. Tuck the toes, downward facing. Beautiful. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale. Good. Inhale. And 1 more in. Awesome. Looking forward, coming to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way. Exhale all the way down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, hands come down. You step or jump back. If you jump, always landing with your bent elbows. And then halfway or all the way down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing. Or child's pose. Beautiful. Few breaths here. Good. And then looking forward, once again, walk, step, or jump to the front. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold, and then sweeping up. Hands to heart. Nice. Breath in and breath out. Starting our sun salutation B, so just adding on to that. We're going to do 2 standing flows today. So inhale, arms come up. We're going to sit down in our chair, Utkatasana next. So thinking about the feet. In our forward bend, our weight was in the toes, and in this one, it's in the heels. So you could maybe lift your toes up for just a moment. Then sinking tailbone back, tucking it down. So it's not like pushing our butt out, it's pulling it under. Breathe in, exhale, fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, hands down. Take your time, flowing or going to downward facing or child's pose. Good. Take some deep breaths here. You need child's pose or water at any point, take that. I'm just going to take water since I'm talking a lot. Nice. We're going to inhale our right foot up. You can bend your knee and maybe your hip opens to the side. 3 breaths here. Nice. Let's straighten that leg and square the hips. So pointing the right hip down towards the floor. And then exhale, step forward. Turn the back foot at an angle. Inhale, warrior 1. If you want, you can bring hands to hips. Thinking about pulling the right hip towards the back of the mat, left hip towards the front. Arms can lift up. We have some options for our heart opening next. So you can bring the hands down, clasp them behind you. And then inhale, maybe you lift the chest and gaze up. If this is hard on your balance, just opening in the chest, maybe you're looking down now. Staying here, or going to humble warrior. So starting to bend down, keeping the legs pretty much the same. Opening those shoulders. Pressing into both heels and then lifting it back up. Arms lift to the sky. Take a breath here. Exhale, we're going to flow or go. So hands come down, step back, plank or knee plank. Exhale all the way or halfway. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. Inhale. Now, so downward facing dog, other side. Inhale, left leg rises. Open the hip up, bend the knee. This is just an option. You can also do this from hands and knees, opening in the hip. And then we'll straighten and square off the hips, or straighten the leg, I mean. And then bending the knee, step forward. Back foot turns. Turn around. Warrior 1 on our left side. Arms are lifted. If you want to kind of move the hips again, you can. Good. And then our heart opening option. So hands come down, clasp behind. Inhale, lifting chest up. If you want to bend down, inhale here. Exhale as you fold, humble warrior. Good. Inhale, we'll come back up. Floating arms to the sky. Settle here. And then inhaling. Exhale, hands down. Step back. You can lower half or all the way. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. Good. Looking forward, walking, jumping, or stepping to the front. Let's take a forward bend here. So maybe your feet separate. It's about 2 fist width of distance. You can do dangling again. You can grab the big toes for Padangusthasana and then pulling the elbows to the sides. Or you can open shoulders like we just did in Warrior 1, clasping hands behind and bringing the arms up. Good. Arms come back forward. We're going to lift halfway. Exhale, fold, and then arms sweep up. Inhale. Exhale to the heart. Good. Take a breath here. We're going to go into our twisted chair. So let's bring feet together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sitting down in the chair again. And then let's bring the palms to the heart. So you'll take a breath in. As you breathe out and space is created in the lungs, you'll twist to one side. So I'm going to the right, but you can go to either side. Good. Let's inhale back to center. Exhale, opposite side. Pretty level with the knees and hips. You can look at the knees if you want and bring them about to level. Good, and then let's inhale back to center. Let's clasp the hands and press the palms out. Inhale, exhale, forward bend. Let it go. Separate the feet again, and if you want, you can walk onto your hands or take any of the other variations we've done. So Padahastasana, you take your hands and step on the feet, step on the palms. Beautiful. We're going to let go now and then inhale halfway. Exhale, flowing or going to down dog. Nice. 5 breaths here and then our last standing series. Beautiful. Inhale, right foot up. Exhale, step forward. Turn the back foot, warrior one. We've been here already. Arms lift up. So closed hips here and then opening for warrior two. So hips move to the side, shoulders open, arms are reaching out from one another. Check in, look down and see if you can see your big toe on the right. If you cannot, you're going to move your knee to the right. And then gazing over the right fingertips. Good. 3 more breaths here. Shoulders relax down. So let's flip the palm and then the gaze goes with the palm all the way up, reverse warrior. And then let's straighten in the right leg. Arms come parallel to the floor. We're gonna lean and reach the right arm. And then exhale, bringing it down to the leg, to the block. Triangle pose. So it's a big stretch on that left side and that inner leg on the right side. Beautiful. So you're going to stay here or you can take your half moon. So it can be a tricky balance pose. I like to use a block. So I'm going to bend my right knee, bring the hand towards the block, and then I'm just going to lift off. So it's just a practice. No worries if this isn't happening today. Just a practice. So if you've come into half moon, bend the right knee, slowly stepping back. We're here. Let's bend down, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down, and you can flow or go to downward facing or child's pose. Awesome. Breathing here. 5 breaths. Or child's pose if that last one, you kind of like, breath is a little too quick. Let's inhale when ready. Left leg comes up. Bend the knee, step forward, back foot turn. So take your time, warrior one. Been here already. Nice open hip flexor in the right side. And then opening warrior two. You might need to widen your stance with the feet. So this leg kind of supposed to be parallel to the floor. It's going up a little bit. Knee over ankle. It is okay if you're back here a little, no problem. Look over the left fingers and then flip the palm. Inhale, reverse. Straighten the leg out. And then we're going to bring arms parallel to floor. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring the hand down, reach the right arm up. Good, and now we have the option for half moon. So if you'd like to take that, you can look down where you're gonna place your hand. I'm gonna slide my right leg a little and then lift off. So shoulders and hips are stacked here. If you're still in triangle, breathing into it. And then when you're ready, if you're in half moon, you'll step back. Good, and then we'll all sink back, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel down. Step back, flow or go. Exhale, and we'll take a child's pose now. Nice. So once again, being aware of breathing into the backs of the lungs, the back rib cage. So we're working up to a peak pose, a back bend. We're going to do a few belly down back bends first to kind of get ready for that. So we're going to come onto the belly. We are going to take locust. So arms are going to come alongside, gluing your legs together. Inhale, lifting up your chest. An option, lifting the feet and then the arms. Good, looking forward. Inhale up one more. Exhale down. You can turn one cheek to the mat. And then we'll take a half bow. So let's bring right arm into the front, kind of a right angle, and then reach back for that left foot. You can grab the outside, and then when you're ready, kicking it straight back. Your right arm can be here for support, or you can lift it up in front. Good, and then exhale down, other cheek. Left arm's down, and then you reach back for the right foot or ankle. And then inhale, kick straight back and up. Left arm is down, or maybe you lift it. Inhale, exhale, lower, release. Good, and then bringing hands under shoulders and coming up. We're gonna come up onto our knees. So pad your knees with a blanket if needed. We're gonna go to our peak pose, camel pose. So there'll be several levels of camel. The idea is to go back. So we wanna think about our chest lifting up to the sky, not going back. We want a big lift, and we want the hips to push forward. So you can put your hands kind of like you're sliding them in your back pockets with the fingers down. If your shoulders like fingertips up better, you can do that. So I'm going to take a deep breath in, press the hips forward, and lift the chest up. Inhale, exhale back to center. So that might be it for you, and you'll keep doing that one. For this the second, we'll do three. So for the second one, let's lift up, and you can start looking back if that's okay with your neck. So push hips forward, inhale, chest up. Maybe you look to the ceiling or back, and then coming back up. So lots of core, lots of back strength. And then finally, you are welcome to grab your heels or ankles, but only if you can see down the back wall, like almost to the baseboard. So careful. Let's all bring the hands back here. Inhale, push the hips, lift chest. And then if you want, you can come back further. Keep pushing hips forward and chest up. Good. When you're ready, slowly coming out. I have to come back a little and then bring my hands to the hips and up. Let's sink down. And we'll take a little twist. So if it's not okay to sit like this, just sit however is comfortable. You can sit on a big prop. Arms lift up. Exhale, left arm to right leg, and then your right hand behind you. Good. Inhale, arms sweep up. Opposite exhale. Good. Inhaling, arms come up. Exhale, palms to the heart center. Take a breath here. We're going to take a seated pose so you can bring the legs around. A choice of legs straight out here or a butterfly. So knees are bent, feet together. It just depends on how your hamstrings feel. We'll take a breath in, lift up. Exhale, fold. If neither of these options suit you, you might lie down in a reclining butterfly instead, or lie down and lift the legs up to the sky. So we're winding down, bringing the heart rate back down. We're going to start cooling the body once again. Let's take this as a full yin posture. So now the breath is slowing. We're grounding. So we were doing stuff in the sky, the air, lifting towards the heavens, and now we're grounding back down towards the earth. Nice. Keep breathing here. Nice forward bend, just to let the spine go. Any weird feelings in the low back that don't feel right, back off the pose, come onto your back. Breathing into the lungs and the back of the lungs. The breath is known as heavenly qi in Chinese medicine. Very powerful. Good. A couple more minutes. So about halfway through this. See how it feels to practice the yin practice after the vinyasa. So now you have the opportunity to have tried both. You did yin first. Maybe you notice the hips are more open in your warrior poses. That's what I notice if I do yin first. And then now doing it after, maybe you're able to sink deeper, maybe the mind is a little quieter, maybe the body is a bit more relaxed, maybe none of the above. All of it's okay. One more minute here. Beautiful. Few more breaths. One more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly, slowly come up. If you want to take one more yang type stretch, maybe the feet on the ground, hands behind you with the fingers pointing towards the toes, and then hips can lift. Big stretch in the shoulders and an opening in the front body. Inhale one more. Exhale will come down and then all the way onto the backs. So maybe you have some props nearby if you need them for your final postures. If you want, you can bring knees into the chest. We haven't done that yet. Maybe you rock side to side, take some circles. And we have gotten into the hips a lot. Let's take a brief happy baby, about a minute or so, 10 breaths. So bringing the feet on the outside of the ankles, or hands on the outside of the ankles or feet, pulling them down, knees down. Kind of looks like that. If this doesn't work for you, it's okay. Maybe your knees are bent and you're just pulling knees out. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Good, and then exhale, let go. You can maybe stretch your arms long, or you bring your knees back in. You can rock if you need to. And then we'll take our spinal twist. So we did a lot of back bending, got to twist it out. I like a cross leg variation. So if you want to do that, crossing right leg over left and then knees falling left, or take your favorite variation. Maybe you take a prop. I like a block under my bottom knee, or actually it's the top knee, but it's the one closer to me. Nice. So just find your way into that nice deep twist. It's not going too far. Just winding things down, breathing. Beautiful breath. So I've gotten some feedback from classes. Someone said that the twists were really good for them, and with tight hips flexors, this was a good practice. So I did want to work on some spinal stuff and some hips today. I'm also looking for feedback about doing an evening or weekend class. So that's an option too, and I will give you all that info if I do go ahead and do that. If you want to give me any feedback about that, contact me. You all know how to reach me. I'm still doing these classes as long as we have to stay home. If you know anyone that would benefit, you can always pass it along. I really appreciate you all being here so much. Helps me a lot too. So checking in with your body, how's the twist feeling in your body? And where is the sensation felt? And breathing into that. Exhale, letting go. Maybe the shoulders melt a little closer to the earth. Take about a little bit more time. We're about halfway through this one. doing a yin practice on Thursday at 12, so I might see some of you there. Like a more energizing one for Tuesdays, kind of like getting us through the week. And then by Thursday, I feel like we all need some inner peace, some quiet stillness. Last minute here. Beautiful. Just a few more breaths if you're still in the pose. A few more breaths if you're out of the pose too. When you're ready, please take your time, rolling back to the center, uncrossing, taking rest here. No rush at all. You can take any stretches or movements you need. We'll take the other side when you're ready. So you can go right to it. If you want to cross, you'll do left over right, knees falling right. I'm really into this one lately. It often fluctuates though. Propping if needed. I'll just set the timer. Shoulders are heavy, sinking down. You can do whatever you want with your arms. Some people like to hold them out, stretch. I kind of like to bring them in a little bit. It just feels a little more comfortable for me. But if you feel like you really need to work on that left shoulder coming down, maybe your left arm's out. If it's okay with the neck, you could even look over that left shoulder. If that's too much, just bring the head back to center. As we know from our yin practice, it takes a good amount of time to get deeper into this pose, as all of them. Eventually feeling it in the yin tissues, that deep, juicy stretch, feeling compression or pulling. How's the breath? Chest is pretty open, should be able to breathe nice and deep here. About halfway through. Let's take another minute in this pose. Few more breaths here. Lily's joining us for the end of class. Nice. Few more. Feeling this twist here. And then when you're ready, please slowly roll back to center, uncross. Maybe you stretch all the way out. Maybe take a star shape. And then it's your chance to take any last poses that you need. So about a minute to get into whatever posture you haven't been able to do, or maybe you just bring the knees in, rock side to side. Any of these are good options. Nice. We'll take 10 more breaths in whatever you're doing. And then when you're ready, start getting yourself ready for final relaxation. So any props you might need, if you want to put a pillow under your head, bolster or blanket under your knees, maybe you put a blanket over top of you or take a sweater. And then lying on the ground for the last few minutes of class. So allowing the body, mind, and spirit to absorb all that you've done in your practice. Allow the poses, the breath work, everything settle in to your being. A few minutes of rest here. So just starting to bring the mind back to this moment if it's drifted off. Maybe you're taking some deeper breaths once again, bringing more oxygen to the body. And then starting to reawaken the physical body. Maybe you move the fingers and the toes. If you want, you can circle wrists, circle ankles, maybe gently turn the head side to side. Just little movements to wake our body back up. And then please take your time, letting your knees bend, and you can roll to the side body. Take a pause and a breath there. When you're ready, slowly coming up to your seat, just take your time. We'll close our practice together. Beautiful. When you're ready, closing the eyes, bringing the palms together at the heart center. May all beings be free of fear and harm. May we all be happy just the way we are. May we be at peace with whatever comes. And may we all live gently in the softness of our own hearts. Namaste.